Hi everybody. This week I'd like to talk about the brand Indeed Labs, which is a Canadian skincare brand. We're going to talk about the founding, a little bit of history, and 10 of their products which I've been using. I'm going to include my thoughts on each product and my final thoughts on the brand in general. So if that sounds interesting to you, let's dive in. So the brand Indeed Labs was founded by Brandon Truax, who is no longer with us, which is a sad story for another time. But Brandon Truax had a background in computer science. He graduated with a computer science degree from the University of Waterloo in 2001, and shortly thereafter went to work at a cosmetics company in New York City. Specifically, he was hired by this cosmetic company to work on analysis software. And while he was working there, because he was looking at numbers essentially all day, he noticed that the prices of all of these cosmetic products were so inflated compared to their actual production cost. And he saw this large markup as an opportunity to introduce a different kind of company into the marketplace. So he founded a luxury skincare brand called Iyoko in 2002, which he would later sell to start Indeed Labs in 2011. And the story goes that this woman, Dia Foley, who was working for the skincare brand Iyoko in 2010, was doing a television interview. And at that time, Instagram was fairly new, and the idea of using a filter popped in her head before she did this television interview, and she was telling the producer, I wish they had a filter for your face before you went on TV with all of these high-definition televisions that are coming out. So she told that story to Brandon Truax, and being the entrepreneurial mind that he was, he immediately came up with an idea for a product, which was the very first Indeed Labs product called Nanoblur. Nanoblur promised to take a woman's skin and transform it so it looks like it has a filter on it. Notice that I said a woman because at the founding, Indeed Labs saw women as the target market. Indeed Labs was founded on the idea that cosmetic products at the time overpromised and underdelivered, and Brandon wanted to focus on products that had a science behind them for actually being effective at doing whatever it is they were branded to do. Not overhyping, not hiring supermodels, just delivering quality products at a reasonable price. Indeed Labs would then come out with a few other products, but Brandon would leave Indeed Labs in 2013, and apparently he wasn't happy about having to leave Indeed Labs, and he had to sign a non-competitive agreement. He would, however, go on to start the company Deciem, which got his name because he was telling a friend his ideas, and he had ideas for 10 different companies, and his friend said, well, you can't do 10 things at once. Deciem is Latin for 10 things at once. And most notably, one of those brands in the Deciem umbrella is The Ordinary. But these days, Indeed Labs is run by COO Demetra Davidson. She has a background in finance with a business degree from the University of Toronto, and she took over Indeed Labs in 2015. All right, on to the review of some products. I'm going to be reviewing these in routine order, starting with their cleanser. This is the Hydraluron Cream Cleanser. It features hyaluronic acid and papaya extract. The two main surfactants in this cleanser are cocamidopropyl betaine, which is a gentle surfactant derived from coconuts, and also sodium C1416 olefin sulfonate, which is a little bit stronger surfactant, but it's listed below cocamidopropyl betaine. There's also glycerin, which is a humectant that helps your skin draw in moisture, grapeseed oil, and hydropropyl starch phosphate. And my experience using this, I wasn't blown away by it because I didn't like the texture and I didn't like how it rinsed off. And I'm pretty sure the reason for that is this starch that they put in here. After you've thoroughly rinsed, it feels like there's still something on your skin. So this is unfortunately one of the least impressive products from Indeed Labs that I've used. And it's the only water-based cleanser. They do have an oil cleanser, but I did not try that one. Next up in my routine order on days that I shave is the 10 Balm. I apply this just after shaving, and it is incredible. I've really come to enjoy this particular product, and I've repurchased it several times. It's called the 10 Balm because it has 10 soothing ingredients. They are honey extract, propolis extract, pollen extract, royal jelly extract, bisabolol, arnica extract, allantoin, vitamin E, baobab seed oil, and berudi oil. It also contains the humectant glycerin, soybean oil, and sunflower seed wax. And that formulation, for whatever reason, is amazingly soothing, like no other product that I've ever tried, especially on freshly shaven skin. Right after you shave, your skin is so sensitive anyway, and a lot of products I just can't use on days that I shave, but this is the hero product, and it's become my holy grail on days that I shave. And I can't overhype that. It's literally one of my favorite products I have ever used from any brand ever. Moving on to some serums. Let's start off with the Q10 serum. Now you might be thinking, Q10, Inky List has a Q10 serum. Yes, they do, and Indeed Labs also has a Q10. They're quite different. I've used the Inky List and I like the Indeed Labs better, although it is a little bit more expensive. By the way, if you look through the Indeed Labs website, you'll see some similarity in the price points. They are almost every single product is priced at either $19.99 or $24.99, which is fascinating. It's like they have a target price point and they want to include ingredients and sizes that match the price point. But I digress. The Q10 Booster Serum has ubiquinone, which is the Q. It's an antioxidant, so this would be something that you would apply in your morning routine. It also has tetrahexyldecyl ascorbate, which is a derivative of vitamin C. So you're getting two antioxidants for essentially the price of one. And of course glycerin, which is that humectant. I'm not a huge fan of the dropper component. It seems like it won't get all of the product at the bottom, and I can see a lot of product just going to waste just because you can't get it all out of the bottle at the end. But the serum formula itself is excellent. It works very well with other parts of your routine. Another serum I've been using is their Collagen Booster Serum. The serum itself is rather thick. It includes palmitoyl dipeptide 5 and palmitoyl tripeptide 38. So two peptides that are supposed to help with the production of collagen. I've been using this in the evening on my retinol days. So before I apply my tretinoin, I'll put a little collagen booster on. Again, the formulation is very nice. It layers very, very evenly across the skin, and it doesn't seem to have any issues with the other elements in my routine. Next up is the Hydraluron Serum. This essentially is a hyaluronic acid serum. It also has propanediol and Onfeltia conchina extract, which according to the website description is supposed to help with the distribution of hyaluronic acid into the skin. It's got a very thick gel texture. And I'll just apply a little bit here just because I don't want to waste it. And since I just put a little hyaluronic acid on, I'm going to follow that up with their eye cream. This is the Eysilix II. It's called Eysilix II because they had an initial formulation which no longer exists called Eysilix. Based on consumer feedback, that original formula, Eysilix, was a bit tacky on the skin, and so they reformulated. So that shows that they listen to consumers, which is always a plus. So I'll just put a little bit on here. It also has isononyl isonanoate, propanediol, palmitoyl glycine, shea butter, olive oil. It's got ceramides, lactobacillus ferment, copper lysate, caffeine, palmitoyl tripeptide 5, and acetyl tetrapeptide 2. So it's packed with a lot of different ingredients to target some of the specific issues of that under eye area. I've been using it twice a day, and I have to say it does help with the darkness under the eyes, even though I haven't found anything that will completely eliminate that darkness that I have, which is hereditary. Adding products like this into your routine, I have found actually does make a difference. Moving on to more of a moisturizer, this is the Hydraluron Moisture Jelly. So there's a Hydraluron Serum and a Hydraluron Jelly. The difference is the jelly functions more like a moisturizer while still having sodium hyaluronate hyaluronic acid in it. It's got glycerin, panaline glycol, trehalose, which is a nice humectant, which you don't see very often, urea, which is great for calming, and Strelitzia nicolai seed extract. And it has this airless pump dispenser. Boop. So you go like that, squirts out the top. It's a very pleasant gel consistency. gives your skin a nice glow, and it does a really nice job of moisturizing. Next up are Bakuchiol Reface Pads. These also have niacinamide, which is a great ingredient that we love to see in products. So these are pre-soaked pads, which you apply the Bakuchiol just rubbing across the skin. I'm not a huge fan of using pads as the vehicle. I wish the Bakuchiol was just available in a separate serum, very much like their Hydraluron. And one of the reasons for that is I have to be aware of when I use this in my routine, because if I use it after I've applied, say, some serums, well, as I wipe the pad across my face, it's going to wipe off the serum that I applied before. So you kind of have to do it right after cleansing. And a lot of times on night when I think I would like to use Bakuchiol and I don't apply it right after cleansing, I end up going, oh, I guess I can't use it now because I've already applied other stuff. Bakuchiol is one of those interesting ingredients which I want to learn more about and I want to use regularly in my routine, because the initial science is intriguing, how it works similar to retinol without the sensitivity and irritation. So I don't actually have the Nanoblur. I haven't tried that out, but I did purchase the color corrector. This is the peach color corrector. It claims to even out skin tone. And I found it useful in two different ways. One, as I mentioned, the darkness under my eyes just being a hereditary issue. If I just put the tiniest amount on my finger, that peach color corrector can mask the darkness. On the color wheel, orange cancels black. Theoretically, can you tell the difference? So I've used it in that way under the eye after I use the Eysilix Serum. The other way that I found it useful is when you're using a mineral sunscreen that doesn't have a tint, that leaves a white cast that you'd rather not have. I apply a little bit of this over the top of that white cast, and it again blurs and kind of hides that cast. But I would hate for you to do that and then end up with sun damage and then blame me. So maybe don't try that at home. And the final product to review today is the In-Circadian Night Mask. I'm just about at the end of this. I'll show you it's a thicker cream consistency. And you can put it over the top of an evening moisturizer just to give you an extra layer in the evening to help with that transepidermal water loss overnight. It has glycerin, fatty alcohol, propanediol, polyglutamic acid, Lespedza capitata extract, and nonapeptide 1. Feels very nice on the skin, and again seems to play well with any other moisturizer that I've applied before applying the night mask. So my final thoughts for the brand. I think this is a fascinating brand because you can see elements in this brand that would lead to The Ordinary. There's specific ingredients that each product is kind of using and focusing on, much like The Ordinary, selling the ingredients as opposed to selling a product. The majority of the products that I've tried, I will continue to use, and I can see myself repurchasing indefinitely. The only other thought I have is it seems that the brand still focuses on women as the target market. They have a number of cosmetic products that have to do with eyelashes and plumping lips and things of that nature that just don't interest me. All right. What do you think? You can leave your thoughts down below in the comments if you've tried Indeed Labs or if you have anything to add. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at 43-year-old Skinfluencer. And I'll see you next time.